Hey guys, welcome. So the end of day 2 of the Accelerated Awakening Retreat for Men. What a beautiful, profound, deep, connected day. I couldn't have asked for a better day and couldn't have asked for a better group of guys. Just so willing, trusting. The safety was there to go into places which would ordinarily take more days. But today, yeah, it was just one of those special days, right? What to do, what to share. What I can say first of all is I decided today to initiate the circle through what I would call like a circle training day. But when I do a training day, it's rarely instructions. It's actually an experiential embodied journey that has the impact of teaching how we are in circle and some of the mechanisms, the protocols, the structure for interacting with the group. So it's safe and people get the most value out of it. So I tend to instruct through experiential dynamics, so real life things that are happening in real time that can reveal the process rather than it being a heady intellectual transmission. And the morning was an opportunity to drop the men into their bodies through a layered step-by-step process for them to gradually not only connect to what's happening in their body, but to begin to follow impulses, express, and then reach out and ask for support, and then to train the group to feel into the hearts of the men so that they could potentially reveal areas that they need that they don't even know they need. Because sometimes when we're really felt in a beautiful field like this, others can feel our hearts better than we can. And so there was a very rich morning of very short practices where people got to get on the mat for a few minutes and try it on and feel what it feels like to be seen and felt in brotherhood and in the space of men, because often there is trauma around men maybe feeling unsafe, unseen, unfelt, or betrayed in the past. Whether it's through a parental figure or whether it's through being bullied at school, there is a lot of history or whether it's being castrated by the feminine. It doesn't really matter. I mean, there is stuff that all men come with in circles like this, and there's often a apprehension about, is it safe to do this work together? And it's always my challenge and joy to find a way to open the space in a way that people, the men in this case, can feel safe to do the work. So we had a morning of just beautiful mini spaces of opening, tracking, feeling, following, and surrendering. And then after lunch, I opened with a specific question that had the intention to open the field to see if there was something live that wanted to go deeper. So there's certain sharing rounds that we would do that has the primary intention not only to serve everybody who shares, but in the sharings, there will be a few shares that are really juicy and they will hit in my nervous system like a bell, ding. And that's when I stop and I will say, okay, do you want to get on the mat and move and meet this? It's one thing to be alive with it. It's one thing to verbally share it, but there's another thing altogether to deeply be met, embodied somatically in connection with another human being or other human beings by the tribe, and actually go for it and deepen. And this guy was like a hell yes. He was so ready, he was so ripe, and we had an epic family constellations really healing of different gestalt processes. It was a challenge actually in this case because the person that he needed or had, the person he chose to meet, who was the most representative energetically of the kind of person that he wanted to meet, was me. So when I'm called in as a facilitator, it adds an added challenge, because as somebody enrolled now as the antagonist in his process, while also holding the space, that's where assistants become really important. And that's where having to wear multiple hats and become multidimensional as a facilitator is important. Because in the middle of an enrolled piece, I might have to check in with him, ask how he's tracking, what he's feeling, what's the impact, where's he going, what's he needing. So I have to be wearing that multi-dimensional, multi-layered peace at all times. But there's something about that I really love, like the challenge of that always excites me. And I feel like, okay, now I'm being brought to the kind of level that I'm trained for. It's like, I love that. It's like, yes, use me in all my capacities. That ended really sweet. And yet I was aware that, wow, it was so emotional, so big, so vast, that the group probably needed time now to regulate. And I'm not a big fan of exhausting the group field to the point where now people are so depleted that there's nothing more to cathartically release for the sake of just catharsis. I'm not really into that. So coming back from the afternoon break, it was a little bit more training, a little bit more revealing how this process can work, and letting the brothers actually come together in one big tribal kind of like cuddle puddle and be held, and just to rest and come into this nourishing sponge where they can absorb the beautiful experience of being met and regulated and co-regulated by other male nervous systems. There's something about that is just exquisite, and until you've experienced it, it's very hard to describe. It's just something that relationships can't provide, women can't provide. There's certain parts of the male nervous system that can only be met by the men. And when men get that, they then realize why brotherhood and men's work is critical, not just important, critical for the success of their relationships, for the success of their purpose and going out into the world and just being happy. So, yeah, feeling super grateful. The day hasn't ended yet. We're going to have some dinner, then we're going to do some belly-to-belly practice and to continue our regulation and connection ritual for this evening, and then get ready for day 3 tomorrow. And yeah, hope you're enjoying these updates, and I will speak to you very, very soon.